Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I've actually only got it in a little sample pot because when I went there to buy it, they didn't have the colour I was matched to, which is sand. So she gave me a little sample pot of it, which I thought was great because now I can actually test it out before buying it. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. What I'm going to do is just going to put it on my face, do whatever I need to do throughout the day, and then later on I'll come back and tell you guys how I think about its longevity, staying power, if it's making me oily, dry, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I've already got my L'Oreal Skin Perfection Serum on, which is what I always do before I put my foundation on. I'm not going to use any primer because I never use primer. I don't believe in primer. So the colour I was matched to was sand, and it actually looks a little bit darker. I'm hoping that when it oxidizes, it doesn't oxidize too dark. And I'm not using a clean brush because, let's be honest, when I use this foundation, I'm not going to be using a clean brush every single time I put it on. This is so awkward getting out of these pots. I think it's just awkward because I have long nails. That's actually, once you spread it, it actually goes quite light. Like, it doesn't look as dark as I thought it was. Wow, that color's like actually pretty on point. I know I'm a little white on my chest and my neck area, but I'm always white in that area. So when people are like, color match to your neck and your chest, I'm like, no, because I'm so white. Like, my arms are so dark. And it's not even like I go about tanning, they're just naturally like have dark pigmentation. So it does feel quite thick in my opinion, but it has a really good coverage. So I've heard that this foundation is like one of those foundations that you either love or you hate. Because everybody, like, obviously that's like with most foundations, you're either gonna like it or you're not. I don't know, I'm not quite sold on it. Like, it's taken a little longer to blend out because it's just so thick. But for the coverage, I think it's worth it. On camera, it's looking really yellow, but in real life, it actually looks really like muggy and like a bit too, kind of like ashy looking. Yeah, on camera, it definitely looks a lot more yellow. So it definitely dries to a matte finish for me, which I don't mind. Like, I always change my foundation all the time. I like to mix it up. Yeah, so I don't mind like having a matte finish at all. It does, like, because it's so like thick, I feel like it brings a lot of like my little bumps in my skin out. Or maybe that's because it's matte, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm quite sold on it. So I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup and see how I like it. It might just be because of the dark circles under my eyes and stuff like that, and that might be the reason why I don't like it. So I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup. I've actually got quite a lot of this left. I hardly used any of it, and I feel like once I put on my concealer and set my face and put my bronzer on it and everything, I actually think I might like the colour on this because it is so yellow. But I don't know how I like it with the rest of my body because it does look quite different. Like, compared to my arms, it looks good, but like I said, I have a very white chest and neck area, but I think it matches me quite well. And because summer is coming along, I'm sure I'll get tanned even without wanting to get tanned. So this might actually end up being a really good colour for me. If not, I'll just get the shade that's before this. I can't remember what it's called. There was like 2 different options and they looked exactly the same. Like, when I was getting colour matched, I was like, where did you put it? Because it just looked exactly the same as my skin. Okay guys, so I'll go finish off my makeup now and I'll see you in a bit. Hey everyone! So it has now been 10 hours since I put the Too Faced Born This Way foundation on my face and I did the rest of my makeup. So my skin is oily in my T-zone, but it's not super oily. So the fact that my face is so oily after this long, and I haven't even done anything too excruciating. So in the 10 hours, I didn't do anything that would make me sweat. I did have a 2-hour nap, and that's when I found that my makeup became like really, really oily, especially on my forehead, as you can see. I cooked dinner, washed the dishes, all that fun stuff. So my skin just got really, really oily from this foundation. I'm scared that if I did wear this on a daily basis, I'd break out quite a bit, considering that it did make my skin oily. Where I put my concealer and my powder, it stayed quite dry. Overall, I think it did last really well. Even though it did get oily, it's not like it melted off my face. It just became really dewy looking. I am still not quite sold on the color yet. I think it does match my skin well if I was a bit darker. But I think it's more of a foundation that doesn't blend with your natural skin color. It's a foundation that just covers your natural skin color. So maybe that's why I'm not sold on the whole color yet, but I'll keep trying it out throughout the week and see how I go. Around my nose is probably where it came off the most, but I can see like all these little bumps on my forehead where it's gotten really shiny. When I first put it on, those bumps were actually really obvious, and especially around my cheek area and over here. So I think the fact that it's oily now accentuates it even more. On my jawline and my chin, it stayed quite matte, but I feel like the coverage isn't as full as it could have been. Maybe if I layered more foundation on, it would have been more. Like if I do this, you can see my veins popping through my skin. Overall, I think it's a good foundation. Do I think it's worth the money? Yes and no. I wouldn't wear this on a daily basis because I usually do 8 to 10 hour shifts, and by the end of my shift I don't want to look oily. I'm sure this is something that a little bit of powder will fix, but I wouldn't be bothered considering I can just wear a drugstore foundation and not have the same reaction and know that I can trust it to stay on all night. It was kind of hard for me to blend through, but you know, I'm still a bit iffy about this foundation. I'll definitely have to try it out more. And probably try different ways of applying it, try applying it on BB cream, which is something that I do sometimes. So I hope you guys enjoy this review. Let me know what your experiences have been with this foundation and if you think I should buy the full-size version or not. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.